Good morning, good morning, good morning, my muffin to say friends. I'm excited to be here, and it really does help when you do an intro with the microphone on. I always thought that that was kind of the best way to get the ball rolling. So, that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm trying to aggregate chat today from YouTube and TikTok and all that fun stuff. So, we're going to see how this works because I have no idea. But it's going to be fun. I can almost guarantee it. We're going to have an absolute blast. So, let's do the best we can. Good morning, Jeff. It is awesome to see you. Hello. We can actually add that chat right onto the screen. Doesn't work yet on TikTok, but it will. And we've got some folks popping in TikTok as well. Welcome this morning. I have a really cool thumbnail today for those of you who are watching on YouTube. TikTok, well, they don't get to see thumbnails. Doesn't mean that's what we're going to talk about today, but it does mean that we're going to kind of reference 9/11 because it is a thing that did happen in the past. And there's probably, well, it's kind of shocking to believe that it's 24 years ago. 24 years ago today. So there are a lot of people, especially probably on the TikTok side, that I would guess have never even, they weren't alive when it actually happened. So, it's one of those things. That's just the way it is. But it's a thing that happened, and it changed the world in one day, or at least the world as it pertains to where people were mentally in the United States. And I have to be honest with you. It's been a long time, obviously, but it feels to me like after 9/11 happened, that 24 years ago, the period of time after 9/11 where everyone in this country came together seems like it's almost the last normal time that I can remember before things got so unbelievably polarized. And, that's a bummer. So, let's see. I'm wondering if it gives me the ability to, this doesn't, still not working. Let me see if I could get the chat to work. But life moves pretty fast. You are not kidding. You are not kidding. I'm going to go over here and we're going to try to get this to work. Source is active. So I'm going to kill this and we're going to kill this. And then we're going to try and see if we can't activate it. Boom. All right, so that might be better. I don't know. You'll have to say something over on TikTok, Michael, and we'll see if we can actually see it in our chat now. But I think we're good to go. It feels to me like that was like the last time the country came together and everything was sort of normal. And, man, we certainly have gotten, look at that. Look at that. So there we go. Now I could put it up on screen. I still have not figured out how to put it up on screen over on TikTok, but that problem will be solved after 2 more streams, because you guys are going to get the same feed that we're getting over here. So I appreciate the fact that we're actually making a little bit of headway. Just a little, but I don't have any, I can't see any way. Like there's this big box in TikTok right up here, kind of like on the YouTube vertical. And it's supposed to let you put your chats up there, but I have not seen any ability to do that over here in the live chat box. So, now that it's working, at least on the YouTube and YouTube side, we'll eventually be able to get it up here along with all of our other effects, because YouTube will allow us to use the camera from OBS as soon as we get to the point where we've done 3 live streams that are over, I don't know, I think it's 25 minutes long, which we're definitely going to hit today because, well, I'm here and we've got nothing else to do. So let me know out there how everything looks. Those watching on vertical, those watching on horizontal on YouTube, and of course, those watching on TikTok. Do we look good? Do we sound good? I mean, as good as this can really look, because, you know, let's be honest. We're not exactly working with Brad Pitt material here. I do notice that I'm a little not centered and my seat is a bit too low. There's a little bit of headroom up here, but you know what? We're going to make the best of it. My head needs all the room that it can get. You know what I'm saying? And we have so many people popping in and out over on TikTok. Do me a big favor, guys. Say hi. Let me know what you think of the look and the stream and all that stuff. Believe me when I tell you, after that 3rd stream, it's going to get a lot better. YouTube and TikTok simulcast. Exactly. And it took me exactly 7 days. 7 days to get access to TikTok Live. So if you're determined and you really want to do it, it's really not that hard. Believe me when I tell you the numbers for the TikTok Live, access, not that excessive. It was very simple. It just took a little bit of hard work and dedication to get access to go live on TikTok. Now, I will have to admit that we are doing it in a little bit of an unusual way. I am using the TikTok Live Studio app to go live alongside of our OBS app, which does the both vertical and horizontal versions of YouTube. And there's a reason for that. And that is because there are so many features on TikTok's Live Studio that I want to be able to have access to, or I want my audience to be able to have access to. I certainly don't want to limit my TikTok Live audience from being able to use all of the TikTok Studio functions. So we left them on there, and we're going to see how this goes. Eventually, it will have, of course, the exact same look, but for now, it's a little off. I tried to sign up for TikTok, and they said I was too old. Well, I don't know. I don't think you're too old, brother. Who cares what TikTok says, right? But we do have a bunch of 9 and 10-year-olds popping in and out of there the entire time. And we know that they have the attention span of a chipmunk. So they may not stick around or talk or anything until we get a solid thing that's entertaining over here. And we're still working out those bugs. And I'm totally fine with that. But, you know, I wanted to talk about, I'm going to do my daily Google rant because this one really bothers me, okay? I have to wet the whistle a little bit because, you know, this one gets me. So, I don't like to give any information to Google, not that it doesn't already have every piece of information about me that they could ever possibly want. But I don't like to provide more because, essentially, I'm just giving them free money. However, when something makes things more convenient for me, I will provide extra information. So, on the thing, there's a Google app, right? Oh, look, the Cracker Barrel Country Store is bringing back handmade biscuits. That's a news flash. Anyway, up at the top here, it has a little bar that's supposed to be the stuff that I select, right? Up here, my interests. I physically give them information about my interests so they could put it up here in this little bar, right? So if you go over here and you go to customize your space, you can tell them your interests, right? It's really not that hard. So I gave them my interests. I have 2 interests. 1, the Philadelphia Phillies. 2, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Guess what's in this bar? Everything but what I asked for. Everything. The Phillies played last night. That game's not here. The Eagles play this weekend. That game's not listed here with a start time. There's a Phillies game tonight. That's not listed here. We've got Chicago, Atlanta. We've got Milwaukee, Texas. We've got Washington, Green Bay. So even when I freaking tell Google what I want, they still don't give it to me. I don't understand. How is that even freaking possible? That I physically tell Google what I want and they still don't give it to me. I started yelling at Google's voice thing last night, and it told me that I was being disrespectful. The disrespectful part is collecting my information about the things that I want to see and then freaking ignoring it. I'm sure you're going to sell that data, but you're not going to make my viewing stuff what I want. So what? Man, I'm telling you, that really, 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 really aggravates me. Really aggravates me. Are you sure you weren't telling Google what you don't like? Oh yeah, I'm sure. It says right here. It says right here. Customize your space. And so sports is checked. Manage your sports teams. Eagles, Broncos, Denver. NFL. I don't even have Major League Baseball selected because I literally care exactly zero about any other team than the Phillies. And yet, when we go back to my space, the Phillies aren't there. Every other team is there. All these other scores are there. But, that team is not there. It's freaking ridiculous. That's exactly right, One Punch. Google doesn't care, and they never cared. But why collect my data then? Just don't. Just don't. And Michael has it right. I'm having my morning get off my lawn moment. That's exactly what it is. But that really, really pissed me off. If I'm gonna give you my information, I'm kind enough to supply you with the information, then give me what I want. Give me what you promised. A more couture experience for my viewing pleasure. Nope. No, why would we do that? That'd make way too much damn sense. Man, I hate these people. I do. But, it is what it is. We gave Google so much power, and the internet is totally dead. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I was mostly busy testing the stream. Everywhere you go, if you go on YouTube, which I'm on YouTube a lot, if you go over to YouTube, 60% of all the videos that you see are, basically bot-created visuals or bot-created voices. That's what we get now. That's, and how are we going to avoid it? Well, the only way you could really avoid it is to not give it any views. And that's getting harder and harder to tell the difference. And then I got people complaining that I use an AI photo in my thumbnail. And it's like, yeah, but I'm writing all the dialogue. I'm writing all the scripting. I'm doing everything. I'm doing all the editing. AI's not doing any of that. So if I take one stinking shortcut, really, you're going to have a problem with that. Well, then, go out and try to figure out who else is, actually real and putting themselves in front of the camera instead of just doing AI garbage. Because I'm telling you right now, the AI garbage thing is pretty easy. It's pretty easy. It's very tempting, but that's not me. That's not what I'm going to do. It says, grab your phone and talk about anything you're interested in. And watch the ads flood your feed at every platform. You are not kidding. My wife yesterday had a rant about that. She says not only does it pick up everything we talk about, like we just got back from, or we're talking about doing a vacation in November, potentially to Myrtle Beach. So we've been talking about that, and my wife says, yep, of course the ads are popping up in my Google. She says, but what really scares me is stuff that I think about is popping up in my Google. She says, is this stupid box reading my mind? And I said, well, that's why I only ever use it in speakerphone mode. I don't put that thing anywhere near my head. So I don't know that it's reading her mind. And I'm not sure that if I'm Google, I want to know what's in there, to be perfectly honest with you. I let her think her mind goes wherever it goes. There's a reason why men and women, have a relationship that's symbiotic. And if you're a smart man, you don't always want to know what's going on in there. And if you're a smart woman, you definitely don't always want to know what's going on in here. So there's just things that we don't really converse about because we want to stay like this. And you can only really get to that point when you have significantly deep respect for the person that you're with. But still, that's how men and women can stay together and have fun and live a great life, is not by getting too much in each other's heads, because let's be honest, she doesn't want to know what's going on in here half the time, and I don't want to know what's going on in there. And I can damn sure tell you Google doesn't want to know what's going on in there. Oh, looks fine on TikTok. Awesome. Thank you, Packet Boy. I appreciate it. Got another chatter on TikTok. Man, we're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, they even track every word you write. Well, of course they do. Luckily, I actually do write my own words, too. It's pretty fantastic. It's pretty fantastic. We got so many cool folks popping in and out of TikTok. It would be so cool if that kind of, activity was going on YouTube, too. But YouTube will take my shorts and push them out, and eventually we'll find an audience on there as well. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are aware of my main channel and the challenge that's going on right now. However, I am thinking about adding another element to the YouTube channels and probably the TikTok channel as well, because I've been thinking about starting a new recorded video channel for quite some time. And it seems like it might actually fit in with the type of live streams that we're doing here anyways. But it does skew, potentially, the outcome for the live streaming challenge. So I haven't really decided whether I'm going to do it or not. I'm going to have a serious conversation with Michael. I know he was thinking on it. I'm going to be thinking on it. But I wanted to ask you guys if you are familiar with the 10K challenge. What would you think about me kind of going sideways and putting some recorded content on the 10K challenge channels? Would you consider that to be kind of a breach of the actual challenge agreement? Or do you think that that's all part of being a smart YouTuber? That's kind of where I lie. If you're going to be able to put together recorded content for your YouTube channel, it's always the best first step. It's very, very, very difficult to get any kind of real traction as just a live streaming channel, especially just a variety live streaming channel, what we're doing here. I'll eventually get a format that works, and we're going to get enough things in these streams that will work, and we'll be able to bring the live stream up from there. But it still always makes more sense to try to get YouTube to help you out by putting out their recorded content. It's just smart. That's exactly why I'm taking the content from these live streams and creating recorded content, because it's just a smart strategy. One Punch says, not at all. You gotta do what you can to get there. All right. I like that idea. 10K challenge rules should be pretty flexible, so go for it. Okay, that's cool. The thing is, though, I know a lot of people who want to use YouTube. They want to live stream, and they don't want to learn the editing piece, and they don't want to do this, and they don't want to do... And I understand that. Editing is a pain. When you're a one-man show, man, I don't know, I can spend like 3 or 4 hours basically coming up with a concept and scripting out bullet points and that sort of stuff. So maybe 2 or 3 hours on that. And then I spend maybe 2 hours filming, because the script is already there and I have a teleprompter and I can just kind of do it. And then I can spend 20 hours editing. And we're not even talking complex editing. You guys have seen my videos. I'm just bumping clips together and occasionally adding some funny or interesting or entertaining B-roll or something. I hate editing. I do not like editing. I'm not good at editing. I just can't afford to hire an actual editor who's good at editing either. So I do it all myself. So when folks say, well, I don't want to do pre-recorded videos because I don't want to learn how to edit. Well, I don't either, but I know that's the best way to get noticed. I know that's the easiest way to tell YouTube exactly what your content's going to be about. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. 4-to-1 editing ratio, I've heard. For time. Yeah, I don't like editing. I hate it. In fact, usually what happens is I will do the basic edit. I'll add some things in there that I want to add, and then I kind of sometimes ship it over to Michael, who has an eye for the silly, and he'll put in silly stuff in those edits that make it more entertaining and fun. Still pretty basic, but a little bit more entertaining. Sometimes that's kind of our thing. So I do have some friends that help me out on editing from time to time, and I really appreciate it because, it turns things up. It turns things up, and so there you go. Now the secret's out. Sometimes Michael does do a little bit. Silly is nice. Yep, Michael for president. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'd say less stupid things than the current president, but yeah. Michael says that's a nice way to put it, silly. He says it's more stupid. I don't know. I always find it fun and entertaining. It's who said that? Right here, this was Packet Boy says Michael for president over on the TikToks. Oh, yeah, I'd say a lot less stupid things than the current president, but I that's the kind of scrutiny that I don't ever want to have to deal with ever. Ever. I get a little bit of scrutiny here, but people are pretty good to me. I keep it positive, and luckily my audience keeps it pretty positive too. Not that they don't have any criticisms. I welcome constructive criticism. I love it. But they do definitely keep it positive. You should use monetizing service like Buy Me a Coffee, or we're going to be definitely adding that. You're not going to see that in the video this week, but now that we have a standard streaming setup where we're going to be going to YouTube and TikTok, we are going to be adding some third-party abilities to do donations and that sort of stuff. So it's definitely coming, and I didn't want to introduce that until I had my streaming setup squared away. So now we're definitely going to be streaming to YouTube and TikTok. I also want to make sure that I can use the camera that I want to use on TikTok, so that when all the effects go on, you're going to see it both on. You're going to see the exact same thing on TikTok and on YouTube, and that's not going to be ready until Monday. So this week's video is going to be all about multi-streaming and showing you guys how I set up my multi-streaming, showing you guys how I got access to TikTok and all that stuff, and showing you how I did these little boxes up here like that. That's what's going to be in this week's video, and then next week we're going to start to monetize. We're going to start to add some monetization to the whole thing, so it's going to be fun. Lego Tech Mike says people don't want either of us as president. We would be worse. I don't know, man. I think Michael and I, president and vice president, man, we would definitely be bad. Understood. I got excited to be part of this journey. Well, I'm excited to have you as part of this journey. I'm super pumped that we got so many people in here chatting and talking. We got One Punch, and we've got Pocket Boy, and Mr. Davis was hanging out with us earlier. He might have checked out already, but man, this is for the first time. I've got people to chat with on these live streams, and that makes it so much more fun because you just never know where you're going to take the conversation when there's actual people in the audience. I've already had my Google rant. I don't know, how long have we been on? Because I do have to be on a certain amount of time to make sure that this counts towards TikTok's arbitrary thinger-majigger. I don't even know. It's so stupid. TikTok's arbitrary crap is just so ridiculously annoying. But you know what? I love you, TikTok. I think. Let's see. So we've got, I don't know. How long have we been on? 26 minutes. So we passed the 25-minute mark, and I think 25 minutes is TikTok's arbitrary BS mobile thingy. That's the point where TikTok says, hey, you are on long enough. So now I should only have to be on one more day for 25 minutes, and then we will be able to add, the TikTok camera will be the same camera as all the rest of the stuff, so that the folks on TikTok will be able to see everything. Oh, Mr. Jeff Davis, I wonder, I have not seen any story where Philly's Karen has been positively identified, and I know there are people chomping at the bit to make this woman's life miserable. I have no idea how the internet has not managed to uncover this person's identity. Because I saw that woman. I can tell you there's no way that woman is not on social media. There is no way. So how the internet has not managed to hunt that person down is absolutely beyond me. Beyond me. You'll get to use it. It's super intuitive if you only use TikTok. I'm not sure what we're talking about. I'm working with my godson's gaming channel, and the Ninja Chat is killer. People are loving it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me ask you something, One Punch. Are you using the way that I show in my videos how to set it up, the actual extension for the browser, or are you using the actual app? Because in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the actual app. In every other video that I've done on Social Stream Ninja, I showed you how to use the browser add-in. But this time around, I'm going to show you how to use the app. It actually is a touch more confusing, but it's also pretty solid stuff. It is. It's pretty solid stuff. It works very well. So I'm looking forward to showing a different way to use it, but I'm wondering how you use it. I'll bet you she dyed her hair right away. I hope so. I don't know. I just can't. Oh, so you use the browser add-on. Okay. So I'll show you the other way to do it. And here's the reason why I decided to use the app instead of the browser add-on. Every couple of months, I get a rash of people saying, Social Stream Ninja stopped working for me. And of course, that's because they updated Social Stream Ninja because there was some sort of change on something or other. And the only way to fix that is to go into your browser, uninstall the extension, and install the new extension. Well, on the app, it will automatically update the app, so you don't have to worry about losing access because, because something was updated. So that's why I'm going to show people how to use the app, and that's why I'm using the app. Even though, in my opinion, it's a little bit more confusing to use. At the end of the day, I will get a lot less people telling me it doesn't work anymore because they updated something and people didn't figure out that they have to remove it from their browser and then add in a new one. So that's why I'm going to be using the app. Jeff, I'm telling you, Jeff, I'm on the same wavelength with you about the Philly's Karen. I want to know. I want to know who this person is, and I am the last guy who's going to harass somebody on the worst, on their worst day. Because I've had this conversation actually on one of these live streams. We catch people and we basically shame them to death over what could potentially be the worst day that they've ever had. They just had a bad day. But in her case, she had so many opportunities to rethink what she did and fix it. And instead, she got in another guy's face, and then she whipped off the crowd and the whole, this woman could have easily capitulated to common sense and done the right thing. And instead, man, she went full bore. And I think she's earned the right not to ever show her face on social media again. Because if she does, it's coming. It is coming. I just want karma to do its thing for Philly's Karen. I'm 100% with you. I am 100% with you on that. And One Punch says it makes sense, more convenient. I believe some people are lazy. They want to do the work once and never look back again. Yeah. Admittedly, it just updates for you so you don't have to think. And, let's be honest. That's why people own iPhones. Because why think? I cannot believe how many times... I used to have an incredibly good sense of direction. In other words, I could kind of look at a map and figure out where something was. Or I'd go stop at a gas station and ask for directions, and I could definitely find my way. The entire area where I live is very large, but I've been all over this. I always kind of know where I'm at and where to go. But then this thing came out. And now everywhere I go, I just Google it. And usually Google takes me in a way that's really stupid or has a lot of traffic or doesn't make a lot of sense. And whatever reason, I still just follow it. Because I don't want to use my brain. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, I'm not proud of it. But in some ways, I relish the possibility or the opportunity to just throw this stupid box in the garbage. But then how am I going to watch YouTube? I mean, like I said in another video, I watch YouTube like it's my job. So, yeah. I watch YouTube like it's my job. Man, this has been a fun one. I did want to pay reverence to the folks that passed on 9/11. That's what the thumbnail is all about over on YouTube. The day that changed the world. There are probably lots of young folks that weren't even born then because it was 24 years ago. 24 years ago. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, yes. The company that I was working for at the time actually had a suite in one of the Twin Towers. And so it was a very difficult day for all of us, having known people that were over there and stuff. Yeah. It was a big deal. My daughter now lives in New York. And of course, she is probably, I don't know if she was born yet. So, there you go. Weird. I bought an F-150, but I keep an old school paper map in it, just in case. Oh, you're going to get another Google rant from me today. That's 2 in a row. We went down to Myrtle Beach not too long ago, and it was a smooth ride. I loved it. The Google Maps worked perfectly. It was freaking awesome. It was awesome. Coming home, I know there's locations, there's places that you do not want to drive. There are. And one of those places is anywhere near the Washington, D.C. Beltway. You do not want to drive anywhere near the Washington, D.C. Beltway. And I will always select a route that takes longer because I know that when you get anywhere near the Washington, D.C. Beltway, you're adding 2 hours to your freaking time. I know this. And Google will not do it. It will not do it. It thinks it's smarter than me, so it's going to route me through the same route, even though it takes me 3 hours longer than it would take just to take a sensible route that goes around the Beltway. And no matter what I did this last time around, I could not get it to do anything that made any sense. I knew when we left Myrtle Beach that we didn't want to go through the Beltway. I corrected the path at least 20 times in my phone on Google, and it didn't care. It just took me there anyways. It just did exactly what I didn't want it to do. So if you guys know of a phone routing system that will actually use the route that I want to use, that I set, if you know of one of those things, please let me know, because I would definitely like to use something else. I don't know. Does Waze do it differently? Can I actually select Waze and put in a route that I want instead of it just being stupid? Hey, it can laugh at me later and say, you could have saved 2 hours going this way, when I know that's a lie anyways because of traffic. But, oh my God. I was so mad as I'm sitting in DC traffic for no freaking reason when it had 9 hours to reroute me and put me on another path. So, maybe Google on your phone had a stroke. I don't know. It just doesn't let you do what you want to do. It has its stupid time in there, and since it's a machine, I don't know. It knew about the slowdown when we left, and it still routed us that way anyways. It's like, well, I don't care, whatever. You're going to sit in traffic and like it, you fat bastard. You know what? Screw you, Google. Screw you. You wasted an extra 2 hours of my life. I was supposed to be home in time for the Phillies game. I was home a half hour after the Phillies game. And I was home so late that I couldn't even visit my favorite sandwich shop to get my dinner and watch the game. I had to go to Wawa because my favorite sandwich shop closed before we got home. That's how much I hate you, Google, because you suck. There you go. Sensible, huh? Waze is better than Google Maps. Well, that's cool. Thank you, One Punch. I will try Waze, and hopefully that helps me to cure this stupid Google fungus. They can't give me my games and my sports teams that I want, although they asked me what I wanted. And they can't give me the route that I want, even though I selected the route that I want. So screw you, Google. Thanks for giving me what I want. Not, assholes. Anyway, boy, this has been a positive experience. But, you know, here's the thing. When we talk about this stuff, I know that you folks can relate to it. So, because we all live in the same stupid clown world, right? We all live in the same stupid clown world, and the only thing that we can do to make the clown world better is to treat each other right and not take it too seriously, because, well, what's the point in that, right? It's been a blast. I am looking forward to getting through tomorrow's live stream so that TikTok's live can look the same, so that we can add in a bunch of new features which are going to transform the live stream. The ability to change faces and voices and all that stuff is coming within the next week and a half to 2 weeks, and that is going to transform what we do here and turn it into much more of a regular show. But because we're doing this in a series, I don't want to cram too much into one video so that people who are following along and streaming for the first time can't keep up. So we're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it smart, and this will be a documented journey that anyone will be able to follow. Even a year from now, they'll be able to go back to video 1 and follow. Whether we end up making that 10K, I don't know. I could sure use it. But that's kind of the goal. I'm always going to be focused on that aspect of it. But we're also going to have fun, and we're going to teach people how much fun live streaming is. And we're going to show them how hard it is, because sometimes it's hard. But when it's glorious and awesome and lots of people like you guys show up and we have a blast, we're going to show them how much fun it is too, because that's a lot better. Like, the excitement and enjoyment of having a successful live stream is way better than the 100 failures that you're going to have. It just is. It's awesome. It's awesome. So anyway, I love you guys. This has been a fun, successful live stream, and I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait for tomorrow's, because it's going to be great too. If you have topic subjects or whatever that you would like to see me touch on, I would love to hear about it. So leave them down in the comments below. You know, it'll be fun. I love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Faux show.